Yo, what is up? Welcome to Ninja Geek Games. Jackpot Set the Reel is a 2 to 4 player card game from Dranda Games where you control your own luck. Here you take on the role of a punter at a slot machine looking to gain fame and fortune. Well, just a fortune actually. Throughout the game you'll be playing a sequence of cards from hands to get a cheeky bonus and upgrades, and then stacking played cards in a specific order to gain advantage for future rounds. It's not quite a deck builder, but instead has elements of strategic hand manipulation and evolution. Each player begins the game with a starter hand of cards consisting of your standard fruits, bells and maybe a dud card, where you take turns playing 3 consecutive or adjacent cards to the table. Depending on the order played, getting 1 symbol provides you with a bit of coin, 2 allows you to claim bonus tokens, and 3 of a kind sounds the well-loved cha-ching, where you gain a load of victory points. During play you'll be able to upgrade cards from a market area providing more coin, or reposition your hand for that 3 of a kind, because here's the catch. Once the game begins, you never shuffle your hand of cards. As we'll see, the game revolves around forward planning and obviously a bit of luck to generate the perfect hand each round, but you'll likely receive dud cards from other players as the game develops, so all bets are off. The aim of the game is to be the first player to reach 35 victory points that can come from a combination of areas. Jackpot Set the Reel comes to Kickstarter on the 11th of August, and there'll be a link to the campaign in the description. Note that this is just a prototype, so any rules and components may change from the final version of the game. Let's pull the lever. Each player begins the game with a starter hand of 10 cards, and these are variable between players. They all consist of various combinations of fruits, bells, the lucky number 7 and dud cards, and when received you shuffle them once for the whole game. During play, all players take turns playing 3 cards from the hand or slot machine, but any cards played must be adjacent and played left to right. So, I couldn't play these 3 cards as they're not adjacent or consecutive, but I could play a combination of these 3 cards. Chosen cards are played to the table in the required left to right order and then assessed for the reward. If the leftmost card shows a dud, you get nothing except shame. If it shows an icon such as a fruit, number or bell, then you get 1 coin to your play area. If your combination shows 2 adjacent symbols, you get a bonus token that I'll talk about later. But it's important to note that to gain coin or tokens, you must assess your cards from left to right, and the matching 2 symbols must only be from these slots. I'll go into more detail about this later, but having a result of 3 matching symbols allows you to claim an objective card that will provide VPs at the end of the game. On your turn you can then spend coin to upgrade cards, and this can be done for a few reasons. Firstly, a dud card in hand can be converted to a usable symbol when played. You can also buy community cards from a market-like area. These cards are added to your hand, but they must replace a different card adjacent to where you want to slot it in. Therefore, deck size remains the same for the entire game. The last thing you can do with coin is upgrade any card in hand, similar to the dud cards that we saw earlier. The difference here is that this generally changes the symbol that was on the front of the card to a different type. As a reminder, the cost of purchasing a card from the market area is indicated at the bottom of the card, and both the cost of upgrading a card in hand and what symbol will be present on the reverse are indicated on the side of the card. On your next turn, you place your 3 chosen cards as discussed, but you overlap any previous cards played. At the end of the round, players will be left with 1 card in hand that's passed to the right, so you're not sure how this affects your hand later, and this can be added to any column. You then gain income for each card showing a coin in any one column you choose, and you can store these for buying and upgrading cards for the next round. But before that, you need to reassemble your hand by stacking the 3 columns of cards in any order, without shuffling or mixing, and this then forms the sequence of cards for the next round. Very clever. Any bonus tokens you have can be spent before playing cards for various effects. These provide coins, VPs if kept until the end of the game, abilities to move the position of cards in hand, as well as upgrade cards at a discount. This token, however, boosts the powers of any other tokens spent at the same time to double the effects, which is very handy. What's more, if you need to claim a token but none are left in the pool, you can steal them from other players to spend them quickly. At some point, due to upgrades, purchases and manipulation, your hand will begin to develop, where you'll be yielding 3 symbols within your slots. Depending on the symbol shown, you then claim the match and objective card that provides endgame VPs. But as these are claimed, their value begins to reduce, and I suppose this is to stop you spamming the same combination, and therefore you need to change tact. The game ends at the end of the round when any player has reached 35 VPs. Here, players then calculate their total VP value by summing those provided by objective cards, upgraded cards and any bonus tokens, with the winner being the player with the most victory points. The game boasts some nice hand manipulation mechanics where you need to decide on the best way to gain coin, when to use bonus tokens, as well as claiming those objective cards. Getting 3 7 symbols can be tricky, but provides a huge amount of VPs. However, there are wild symbol cards that are highly beneficial for achieving this. At the end of the round, the order you stack your played cards and how you reassemble them back to hand is quite important, and a good way to control the positioning of any dud cards. I first played this at UK Games Expo under the instruction of Luke Hector and thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't usually review prototypes for crowdfunding games, but for Jackpot Set the Reel, it was a surprise highlight at the convention and I think it's quite a clever game. I like the fact you can't spam a particular symbol as the VP values of objective cards diminish with every card claimed, so you need to think about upgrading or replacing certain symbols when this happens. So the Kickstarter the campaign goes live on the 11th of August, and I hope this video provided a good overview of the game. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. This is Ninja Geek Games. Cheers.